Johnny, thanks for joining me this evening. On Friday night, you and Ballybrack Bulls went up against Rebel Wheelers in the Basketball Ireland National Cup final. It wasn't to be your day with an 81-46 loss. Just tell us your thoughts, a few days to think over the game, and what went wrong and what can you take away that went right despite the loss.
It was a decent game. There was plenty of intensity in the game as well. It was good physical. There was a lot of physical play out there, which was great to see because it's great to be involved in those sort of games. But
Mm.
the biggest takeaway I think from it was that Cork were just a stronger team. The strength and depth they had on their starting five with like Connor, Paul Ryan, and Adam. They were scoring left, right, and centre, and then they obviously had
Mm.
strength off the bench that we struggled to deal with. But from our own side, I think we started off well. We got into the groove of it. But the biggest thing that we struggled with, we missed too many easy shots to begin with, and then once you give Cork a lead, it can be difficult to crawl it back because they have so much like they start well, and then with the people they bring off the bench are equally as strong. So if you don't have a good start against them, it can be difficult to stick in with them.
And looking at your own performance too, you were the top scorer for Ballybrack with 20 points, and you were the top assist with 5 assists in the game as well. And then you've also got Aaron Spain, you've got Jack Shannon Cole as well in that team who are very good at racking up the points too. Was there, you mentioned it there that you just missed too many shots. Was there anything you could have done maybe to, if you were missing shots, to reduce the output that Rebel Wheelers were getting themselves?
Yeah, exactly. That's what missing shots is the biggest thing because you need to be able to score. You need to, especially against Cork, you need to be able to score a lot of points to even compete with them. So like we were getting a lot of opportunities, and they were good opportunities. On a different day, they'll go in, and there's not a lot you can do if the shots aren't going in. There's not a whole lot you can do. But on the other side, trying to stop Cork, we made it too easy for them. They were getting under the basket very often,
Mm.
and with players like Dylan and Jack Wynn and Paul Ryan, they like if they get any sniff of the basket within the 10 feet, it's going to go in. So yeah, I think we sagged way too deep a lot of the time. So we need to work on it for the rest of the season. We need to push up on defense and play a lot higher because we're giving them a lot of easy baskets where they could just shoot over us. And the other thing is we're not a very tall team. We're quick, but we're not very tall. So if there are rebounds that if they miss a shot and get a rebound, they have like two or three attempts at every basket. So it's more on us to be able to push up on defense and then stop them getting towards the basket and sagging as much as we did. But yeah, credit to them as well because they're real. The team. It's a real team collective. There's not one player that can
Yeah.
score 30 points. It's every player can score 10, 15 points and really contribute to it. So it's hard to decide who to leave and who not to leave or who's the biggest threat in the team because they're all big threats.
And then, it was still a good performance. 46 points against a solid unit like Rebel Wheelers is a good, return for yourselves at the end of the game too, despite the loss. Looking for the rest of the season now, and there's no rest really with the next round of the Wheelchair Basketball League this weekend. What is the goal for the rest of the season at the halfway mark?
Well, yeah, the biggest goal is obviously to win as many games as possible because I think currently we haven't lost a game yet this season in the league. So hopefully on Saturday against Limerick we can continue that form, and then obviously going to the end of year cups and playoffs and all that sort of stuff. We want to be competing again with Cork and hopefully come closer because up until I think on the game on Friday it was the end of the first quarter, started the second quarter. I think there was only about 7 points in it at one point. So
Mm.
if we can keep in with them like that, like we did it up in the first quarter or two, that'll really give us a chance against them. But we obviously have 4 or 5 months to now improve because I think that we played Cork in the last game of the season, so it'll be a good finale. So we have plenty of time for improvement, and hopefully we can stick with them and come up to the end of the season into the playoffs because they're going to be the
Mm.
team to beat again.
Yeah, as you said there, put yourself in a good position for the playoffs.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, that's the main one because like we should finish in top four. So hopefully we playing teams like Limerick, Colester, and Cork in the end of year playoffs. And once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. So if we can improve, if we can keep improving for the next 3 4 months, and then try and play well for whenever April or May comes, and try and peak at the right time.
Yeah, and even speaking about the playoffs, well, it is a long way away. Limerick Celtics have shown there just a couple of years ago in one-off types of games, like in finals, Rebel Wheelers can be beaten. So, maybe it could be quite a glorious end to the season up against Rebel Wheelers if that's who you meet down the line.
Yeah, exactly. Like we can even take a bit of inspiration from last year because I think Kilkenny it was about 10, 15 or 5, 10 points in the game last year in
Yeah.
the National Cup as well. So hopefully
Yeah,
we can take a bit of inspiration from them that if they can do it, anybody can do it. And especially in a final, as you could say, anything can happen.
yeah.
So if we can get a bit of luck and we can play well and stop them scoring and improve our scoring ourselves and stick with them, and anything can happen in the games.
Yeah, and you mentioned there as well South East Swifts, and it did kind of spur them on into the second half of the season last year, where they ended up winning cups as well, come the playoff time as well. Is that something, for yourselves, not to take inspiration from South East Swifts, but from within yourselves, that you had a good cup run, you put up a good performance in the final, and is that the way to look at it now? Is we've shown we can do this? Let's go and get some silverware at the end of the season, especially with the new players like Oren Spain as well, and Gabriella Ruin.
Yeah, good book. As
Yeah.
far as the pronunciation I know is awesome. Right? But yeah, 100%. Like it's great because it's great to get to a final anyway. Because like the last time we were there was 3 or 4 years. So it was probably longer, 5 or 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
And we did win that one, so that really spurred us on. But obviously, even getting to the final, it means you're like the second best team in the country already.
Yeah.
So that gives us the confidence that any team we play coming up to it, like if it's Limerick, if it's Leicester, if it's Kilkenny, for example. It means that we're in a good place. Obviously, Cork are the benchmark that every team needs to reach, and we all need to keep improving because
Mm.
they're streets ahead of everybody at the moment, as they've won six in a row. So I think for the rest of the season, it gives us that confidence that we can compete with any team, and hopefully, come the end of the season, we'll have 4 or 5 months behind us for playing good basketball and improving because we do have a lot of scorers. Like we have Jack, we have Oren. We have Sean McCullough, we have Jason, and we have Berlin, who can score like once we're all in a flow and we stay relaxed and on shooting and all that sort of stuff. We can be a team that can score 50, 60 points easily, and against most teams that'll give anybody a game. So I think it's more just focusing on the important things of defending well and being relaxed in our offense. And if we can get them to click, we can compete against any team coming from the league.
Yeah. Well, look, again, Johnny, thanks for taking the time to chat with us this evening. Commiserations in the final, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers, thanks very much.